So today I want to go through 5 website mistakes that I see pretty consistently when I'm looking at travel advisor sites. And I want to be upfront. These aren't obscure things. Like, this isn't going to be a list of super technical SEO stuff or advanced design theory. These are just the things that come up over and over again when I look at a site and I'm trying to figure out why it's not converting, why people are landing on it and leaving without doing anything. And some of these things you might already know about. Some of them you might be doing right now on your own site. And that's fine. That's kind of the point. I'd rather you hear it and be able to go fix it than not even know it's an issue. So I'll just go through them one at a time and explain what I mean by each one and what the fix looks like. It's not going to be super complicated. Most of this is pretty straightforward once you see it. I'm Justin Hinkle, and this is the Travel Advisor Website Show. So, mistake number 1, there's no clear call to action. So this is probably the one I see the most often. And what I mean by it is someone lands on your site, they read around, maybe they like what they see, and then there's nowhere obvious to go. Like, there's no clear next step. There might be a contact page buried somewhere in the menu, or there's an email address listed somewhere, but there's no button front and center that says, here's what to do if you want to work with me. And this matters because people don't look very hard. Like, if it's not obvious, most people are just going to leave. They're not going to go digging around your menu trying to figure out how to reach you. They'll just close the tab, not because they weren't interested, but because the next step wasn't clear enough. So the fix here is pretty simple. You need a button, a real button, that something that visually stands out, somewhere prominent on your homepage, preferably in that top section, the hero section, before someone ever scrolls. And that button should say something very specific, like schedule a free consultation or tell me about your trip. Something that tells them what they're clicking on and makes it feel like a low pressure thing to do. And then I'd also put another one toward the bottom of the homepage, because some people scroll all the way down before they're ready to act. And if there's no button down there, they have to scroll back up to find it. Don't make them do that. Just put a second one at the bottom, so wherever they land, when they're ready, it's right there. Every page on your website should end with a call to action. The other thing about calls to action is the language matters. Like, learn more is fine, but it's really generic. It doesn't tell me what I'm getting. Versus schedule a free consultation. I know it's free. I know what I'm doing. I know what to expect. That's better. So start planning your trip. Okay, so I click this and we start figuring out my trip. That makes sense. The more specific you can make it, the easier it is for someone to decide to click it. The second big mistake is that the website is about the advisor and not the client. I've talked about this in other episodes, so I'm not going to go super deep here, but it's worth including because it really is one of the most common things I see. And it usually looks like a homepage that opens up with something like, hi, I'm so-and-so, and travel has been my passion since I took my first trip at 16. And then it goes into credentials, places visited, how long they've been in the industry, and so on. And again, that stuff has a place on your site, but leading with it, making it the first thing someone sees, that doesn't serve the person landing on your page, because they don't know you yet. They haven't decided that they're even in the right place yet. And what they're trying to figure out in those first few seconds is whether this is for them. So the fix is to flip the focus. Make sure what's at the top of your homepage is speaking to your client, who they are, what problem you solve for them, what they walk away with. Your story can come in once they're already engaged. It shouldn't come first. The quick test for this is to read through your homepage and count how many sentences start with I versus how many of them are about the person reading. If almost every sentence is, I've been doing this for 15 years and I specialize in this and I love helping people, that's a signal. Reframe some of those towards the client. What do they get? What does their experience look like? That's what pulls people in. Mistake number 3, the site looks fine on a computer, but it's a mess on a phone. This one is really important. I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough because most people build their website on computer. They're sitting there on their laptop. They're looking at how it looks on a big screen. Everything looks great. And when they publish it, they never check what it looks like on a phone. And here's the thing, a huge percentage of people are looking at your website on their phone first. Like, if I pull up analytics for almost any site we built, mobile is usually at least half the traffic, sometimes more. So if your site is broken or hard to use on mobile, you're losing a big chunk of the people who find you before they even get the chance to read anything. So, what does broken on mobile look like? It's things like text that's too small to read without zooming in, buttons that are hard to tap because they're tiny or too close together, images that are cut off or they're not loading right, your headline that looks great on desktop but gets, truncated on a phone screen and, it's just says half the sentence because the other half is off the screen, the menu that works fine with a mouse but it's confusing to navigate with a thumb. None of these things feel critical on their own, but together they create an experience where the person is working just to use your site. And people don't put up with that, they just leave. So the fix is to just actually check. Pull up your site on your phone right now, not a preview, but actually open it in the browser on your real phone. Go through it like you're a stranger who just found it. Can you read it easily? Can you find the button to contact you? And does anything look weird or off? And if it does, that needs to get fixed because that's where a lot of people are seeing your site first. Mistake number 4 is not being specific enough about who you work with or what you specialize in. So this one is a little different from the others because it's more about what's missing than what's there. And what's missing is specificity. Like the site is just kind of general. I book travel for all kinds of clients. Whether you're looking for a beach vacation, an adventure, or a luxury escape, I can help. That sounds nice and inclusive, but it doesn't actually connect with anyone specifically. Because when someone lands on a site like that, they're not sure if it's really for them. They like they're a family trying to plan a Disney trip and they see all kinds of travel for all kinds of clients and they think, okay, I guess this person does Disney, but are they like a Disney person? Do they really know this stuff or they just do everything? Instead, though, if they land on a site that says something like family vacations to Disney and Universal, planned so you actually enjoy the trip, that family knows immediately this is the right place. They don't have to wonder, and that clarity is what gets people to reach out. Now, I know a lot of advisors are hesitant to niche down because they're worried about they're going to be leaving money on the table. Like if I say I specialize in family travel, what about the couples trips? And I understand that. But the thing is, being specific on your website doesn't mean you turn away other clients. It just means the right clients find you a lot more easily. And those clients are usually more ready to book and easier to work with because they came to you specifically for what you're known for. And even if you're not ready to fully commit to one niche, you can still be more specific than all kinds of travel. Like you can say who your best clients tend to be and what kind of trips you know best, what your style as an advisor is, and that still helps people self-select. That still tells them whether or not this is for them. So the exercise I'd recommend is just sit down and think about your last 10 clients. What did they have in common? What kind of trips were they booking? What was their situation? Because usually there's a pattern, and that pattern is your niche, whether you've named it or not. And once you see it, you can start writing your site for that person, and it'll feel a lot more focused. And mistake number 5, no social proof. So this one is maybe the most straightforward of all of them. Social proof just means is there evidence on your site that other real people have worked with you and had a good experience? Testimonials, reviews, something. And the answer for a lot of sites I look at is no or not really. Like there might be a quote from someone, but it's buried on the about page, or it's something generic like Susie was great without any context. And social proof matters because when someone finds you online, especially if they came through a search and they don't know you personally, they're taking a leap of faith just to reach out. They don't know you. They don't have a referral from a friend vouching for you. And the thing that bridges that gap is seeing that other people have trusted you and it worked out. That's what testimonials do. They're basically saying, you're not the first person to do this. Here's what happened when someone else did. So if you don't have testimonials on your site, the first thing to do is just reach out to some past clients. Ask them if they'd be willing to share a few sentences about their experience. Most people are happy to do that. And if you can guide them a little, like ask them what the trip was, what they were trying to figure out before they reached out to you, what the experience of working with you was like, you're going to get something much more useful than if you just say, hey, can you write a review? Because the testimonials that actually work are the ones with some specificity around them. Not just she was wonderful, but we were trying to plan our first cruise and had no idea where to start. Working with her, we had everything sorted out in a couple weeks and the trip was exactly what we were hoping for. That tells me something. I can picture being that person. And if I'm in a similar situation, that's the kind of thing that pushes me to reach out. And where to put them? Homepage is ideal, toward the bottom usually. Services page is good too. Basically, anywhere someone might be on the fence about reaching out, having a testimonial nearby is going to help. And I'd also mention Google reviews here. If you've got good Google reviews, link them or reference them because Google reviews have a third party credibility that testimonials you post yourself don't really have. Like people know you picked out which testimonials to put on your site, but Google reviews feel more neutral. So if you've got good ones, don't hide them. Okay, so those are the 5, and let me just recap them real quickly because I want to make sure they're clear before I wrap up. 1 is no clear call to action. People don't know what to do next, so they don't do anything. The fix is a specific visible button that gives them a clear next step. 2 is the website being about the advisor instead of the client. The page is full of your story and credentials before it's answered whether this is the right place for the person reading it. Your fix is to lead with them and let your story come in after they've already engaged. 3 is the site not working well on your phone. You built it on the computer, looks great there, but half your visitors are on a phone and the experience is rough. The fix is to actually check it on a real phone and address whatever's not working. 4 is not being specific enough about who you work with. The site is so general that nobody really feels like it's for them specifically. The fix is to get more specific about your ideal client and the kinds of trips you know best, even if you're not ready to fully commit to one niche. And 5 is no social proof. There's nothing on the site that shows other people have worked with you and it went well. The fix there is to get some real testimonials with some context, put them somewhere visible, and if you've got good Google reviews, make sure people can find those too. And I want to say one more thing before I close this out, because I think sometimes when you hear a list like this, it can feel like there's a lot to fix and it's going to get overwhelming. And I just want to say you don't have to fix all of it at once. Like if you heard one of these and thought, yep, that's the one, that's the issue on my site, just go fix that one thing. That one fix might be the thing that changes whether someone reaches out or not. Like I've seen sites where the only thing we changed was adding a clear button to the homepage and just making it obvious what to do next. And that one change made a real difference in how people were using the site because they had a place to go. So don't try to redo everything. Just pick the most obvious one, the one that felt most like, oh yeah, that's me, and start there. The rest can come after. So yeah, that's the 5. I hope this was useful. This has been the Travel Advisor Website Show. I'm Justin Hinkle, and I will catch you in the next episode.